Hey up, it's Steve from That Old Yorkshire Geek, and welcome to episode 96 of That Old Yorkshire Geek's Friday Night Appointment with Fear. And this week we're doing The Grudge from 2004. The American version, not the original Japanese Ju-on The Grudge, which is also excellent. But I'm doing the American remake, which is cool. Starring Sarah Michelle Gellar and others, I've forgotten. Ted Raimi's in it as well. But before we start, Josh Temple's here. Never fear, Maddie's here, harpoon at the ready. I'm not sure how good a harpoon will be against a vengeful spirit. Anyway, but Wingrace says, I'm fidgeted, also frightened. I think his auto spell, whatever the hell they call it, got the better of him there. Anyway, welcome both of you and the millions watching around the world. Before we start, don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. Then you should be told when I do new things. Fingers crossed. Right, we're live on YouTube. Let me double check. Yes, we're live on YouTube. We should be live on Rumble. Yes, and we're live on Twitch as well. I'll say it again. I don't know why I keep doing Twitch. Now then. Later on I'll upload it to Spotify and Amazon Music podcasts. I should also do iTunes as well, I suppose, shouldn't I? I don't know. Is it free? I don't know. We'll see. Right, I'm also on Facebook, X and Instagram. Links in the description. As I've linked me 2 books. Hang on, they're under here. Hang on, well, I'm just moving things. Silent Predator, a short horror novella about big cats eating people in a North Yorkshire village, and Mercury Rapids, light-hearted sci-fi action-adventure about UFOs and alien invasions and alien abductions and the moon and comets and all stuff happens. Reptilians and all that jazz. Right. Off we go. Right. What am I doing? The Grudge. Right, The Grudge. Directed by the original fella that did the Ju-on The Grudge films from Japan, Takashi Shimizu. The American screenplay was by Steven Susko, obviously based on Takashi Shimizu's original screenplays. Produced by Sam Raimi, Robert Tapert, and Takashi Ichise. Probably mispronouncing that. Stars Sarah Michelle Gellar, Jason Behr, Katie Strickland, Claire Duvall, Bill Pullman, and others. Hang on. Don't miss out the Japanese ones. Ryo Ishibashi, Yoko Maki, Toshio Saiki, Yuya Ozeki. Sorry, I'm getting the wrong bloody names. Takako Fuji, Takashi Matsuyama, and Yoshiyuki Morishita. Probably getting all that wrong. Also Grace Zabriskie, Rosa Blassi. Did I say Ted Raimi? Yes, he's in it as well. Of course, his brother produced it. At a budget of $10 million, the shoot lasted about 3 months, plus reshoots, and it grossed nearly $190 million at the box office, so it did really well, but horror films generally do. And it spawned various sequels. I think it's up to 3 sequels now for the American ones. The Japanese ones, you've had... This one is essentially based on the first 3 Japanese films. Ju-on the Curse, Ju-on the Curse 2, and Ju-on the Grudge 1. And then I think after this one came out, I think they did Ju-on the Grudge 2, Black Ghost, White Ghost, the beginning, the final curse, and then Sadako versus Kayako, which I've not seen. And I've not seen the New Begin. Is it new? No, I forgot what they call it. They did two after. I've seen up to Black Ghost and White Ghost, so that's what I'm on about. Right. As I said, this one film is based essentially on the first 3 films. It takes bits from the first 3 films and it's squished them into one film, and it does pretty well at it. Right, so we'll get on with it, shall we? We'll get on. As usual, I'll not be just playing the film, because YouTube will have a fit. So watching it in a series of stills, and they may play the odd snippet. So there we go. I've got it on DVD, but I couldn't find it. It's in a box somewhere. I've been through all my shelves of DVDs there and Blu-rays, and I couldn't find them. So it must be one of my boxes upstairs. I couldn't find it. And it's not on streaming in the UK. It is in America. If you go on Amazon, it's there, free to watch on Amazon Prime in America. But over here, can't see it. You can see the third one and the fourth one, but not the first two. Go figure. Good old Britain there. Right, so just got to get rid of that. I'll make myself titch tiny in the corner, and we'll get on with it, shall we? I'll try and remember all about it. Right, off we go. There it is. Right, we're off. We're off, I think. Fingers crossed. Yes, we're off. Right, here we go. We're going to meet the Columbia lady. In the second one, they do a nice little thing. She comes on as the Columbia lady, and a red hair starts flowing down, much like mine's flowing. A red hair flows down and then turns black, and her face goes all pale like Kayako, which were cool. I like that, but he doesn't do it on this one. Doesn't do it on the first one. Right, so off we go. Here we go. Ghost House Pictures. That's Sam Raimi's production company. And we're told, when someone dies in the grip of a powerful rage, a curse is born. The curse gathers in that place of death. Hang on. Those who encounter it will be consumed by its fury. And they highlight the, there we go, the fury part. And that becomes the curse. Ju-on essentially means a resentment curse. I tried to see if that were a literal translation, but Google Translate doesn't recognise it. But anyway, so off we go. I've got notes, by the way. What did I look up? Resentment curse. If you just type in resentment curse into Google Translate, in Japanese it's Orami no Noroi, or Noroi, whatever. But there's a film called Noroi, or Noroi, I don't know how to pronounce it, I don't know. A found footage film, which is pretty good, but that's by the by. So there you go. Right, we begin. We're in Japan. By the way, it was filmed in Japan. The film for 3 months in January 2004 and up to April 2004. And so it was nice that they set it in Japan. And the director, I forgot his name already. I'm useless. The director, what's his face? Takashi Shimizu doesn't speak a lick of English, so you had to have a translator with him at all times. But they got the job done. Right, so we begin in Japan. Somewhere I've never wanted to go. Sorry, I just haven't. And we meet Bill Pullman. Here he is, playing Peter Kirk. I don't know if he's related to James T. But it doesn't last long in this. There he's on the balcony, looks round. You can see there's something up with him. He doesn't look happy, does he? But anyway, there we see he's got his hot young wife in bed. She wakes up. She's 20 years his junior, we find out, through a newspaper clipping later on in the film. He's 51, she's 31. Anyway, she says, oh, look, hang on, have I put the subtitles on? I think they're on, yes they are. Right. She gets, oh, you're up early, come back to bed. And he turns round and looks at her, there you go, and looks at her and throws himself off the balcony, thusly. Hey, off he goes. Oh dear. So obviously something's perturbed him, hasn't it? And she like goes, in shock. And then she looks over and he's dead. People are gathering. And there he is, dead. Is that his eye that's supposed to be? I think it is, isn't it? His eye's supposed to have popped out there. Just tempted. I've always wanted to go, but I told my wife I'm attracted to Asian women, so she says we don't get to go. Yes, Asian women, they're either gorgeous or not. I find, but anyway. Right, so we begin. Credits, Ghost House Pictures production. Sarah Michelle Gellar, there we go. The Grudge. There we go, seeing all the people that's in it. Right, we begin. This is, I think Yoko is a name, I think. Let me just double check. Yes, Yoko. Played by Yoko Maki. I think in the original films she was called Yuki, I think. But in the original Japanese films, they were in segments, and they were like a title card, and it told you all about, this particular character, and then it'd go on to another. So it jumps about, the narrative jumps about in time, so we can follow the different characters. like I said, later on we'll get to see some of Bill Pullman's story, even though he's just splattered himself. But anyway, here she is on her bicycle, headed to work essentially. She's she works at a care centre. So her job is to go and look after the family in this house. I don't know if it's the same house as in the original films. It looks similar, but I don't know if there's something different about it. I don't know, but anyway. Right, so in she comes. Apparently nobody's about. The house looks in a bit of a mess. There's rubbish everywhere. Anyway, she's looking after. This is Emma Williams. So she's looking after her, and then you see Emma's cut her thumb or whatever on this tape dispenser thing. So this is a clue for later. Right, so she sorts Emma out, puts her in bed. Emma's not well, by the way. She's got dementia, so she needs care, which is why they've got people from the care centre. But anyway, her daughter-in-law's supposed to be home, but there's no sight of her. Her husband's supposed to be at work, and there's a sister as well. Her son's sister, her daughter, is around as well, but we'll see her later. Right, so here we go. So I don't know what she's saying here. She picks the phone up and makes a phone call, but it doesn't tell us what she's saying, and it's in Japanese. And I thought, have I got a stupid, video here that's got the wrong subtitles? And I couldn't find any more. But later on in the film, when the people speak in Japanese, they're subtitled. So I don't know. I don't know why it's not telling us what she's saying here. So I thought maybe she's phoning work. Her boss is Ted Raimi. So maybe she's phoning work saying, I am at the Williams house. I've come straight here to look after them or whatever. I don't know. But it doesn't say that when we see Ted Raimi later, it doesn't say that she's phoned. It just says she never came into work. So that's a clue as to what's going to happen. She keeps hearing noises, footsteps and stuff like that, like little, barefoot footsteps. So off she goes, looking round, hearing things. There she goes, she hears a noise upstairs, up in the attic area. Is that an attic area? Because it's gabled, isn't it? So would there be an attic up there? I don't know. I don't know much about Japanese houses. Anyway, so she hears a noise. She goes, I think she hears a cat meowing, I think. I could be wrong. That might be later. So she looks in there. She goes, she's stupid. You're in a strange house. It's kind of spooky. You hear weird noises. Of course you go and look. No, I'd have been out of there. I'd have said, Emma, are you all right, love? You got a drink of water? You settled? I'm out of here. That's what I'd have done. Right, so she's going and looking up in the attic, and then she's got a lighter. Everybody seems to have lighters in this film, because there's a lot of smoking going on. 2004, they thought, it's Japan, isn't it? I think more people smoke in Japan than they do in America, probably, because I think it's still cool, isn't it, to smoke in Japan. Maybe. Anyway, so she goes, she's looking round, and then we're going to get the first jump scare of the film. As she looks round, she's pretty, by the way, isn't she? There we go. Josh would like Yoko, I think. There you go. She looks round there. You can see her there. Look, it's Kayako going, making that noise. She does that. I can't do it. That croaky noise. And off she goes, dragged up into the attic. Right. Kayako gets rid of people in different ways, it seems. Sometimes they're gruesome, sometimes they just disappear into nothingness, as we'll see later. Anyway, right, now we're introduced to Sarah Michelle Gellar. She's playing Karen Davis, I think. Let me double check. Oh, it just says Karen there. Yes, Karen Davis. An exchange student. Oh, good heavens. I think she's essentially come to Japan because her boyfriend lives there. And I think he's a student as well, or a teacher or something. But he's also got a part-time job in a restaurant. He's called Doug. Anyway, there she's asleep. We're going to meet Doug, played by Jason Behr. I don't know if I've seen him in anything else. Obviously, Sarah Michelle Gellar's Buffy. What's Jason Behr been in? Let's have a look. Windgrace is probably telling me now. Everything is being in. Oh, we're in the Roswell TV series, which I've never seen. Is that a different film? Hang on just a minute. Yeah, it's a different film. A film called Skinwalkers, but not the Skinwalkers that I've done on this Friday Night Appointment with Fear. I did a while back, didn't I? Not that one. He were in Buffy. He played Billy Ford Fordham in one episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Yeah, that's about it, really. There's been a loads of stuff, but nothing I've bothered about, to be completely honest. Yeah, right. Whatever. By the way, on this film, he and Katie Strickland, who plays Susan, the sister of the son of Emma that we've just met, they met on this film and fell in love and got married 2 years later. So there we go. Don't know if they're still married. Maybe they are. Don't know. Let's check, shall we? I'm just curious now. Katie Strickland, open a new tab. Let's have a look. Yes, she's still married to Jason Byrne. They've got one child together. Very good. Very good. Anyway, right. But we'll see her in a bit. Right, anyway, he's looking around for clothes to wear because he's got to go, because he's got a test or something like that. There you go. And he's looking for, and she says bottom drawer, so he gets whatever he's after out the bottom drawer. And she says, come back to bed. He says, I can't because I'll be late. And then she reveals her secret plan. She set the alarm an hour early. So they've got time for some hanky-panky before he goes, which they're going to do. And to be honest, I don't blame him, because, there we go, because, Sarah Michelle Gellar, although I once saw her described, her expressions as being like a pouty toddler. She's proper fit, isn't she, I must admit. Anyway. Heiress to the propane fortune. I have no idea. Don't know what you're on about. Don't know what you're... Katie Strickland or Sarah Michelle Gellar. I have no idea. I'm too busy looking at Sarah Michelle Gellar's bum. Anyway, right, so... Right, off they go. They're going into Japan now, somewhere in Tokyo. But as I said, it was filmed in Tokyo. And here we go. We're seeing all this stuff. I bet Japanese people frowned at them here. Because look, they're just crossing the road. Not at the proper crossings. We see the big massive crossings they've got. Like that one. Because Japanese people do things properly, don't they? I bet they say, bloody Americans crossing the road where there's no crossing. We call them zebra crossings here. I don't know what they're called elsewhere. Because they're black and white. Right. By the way, is it these three? Yes, it is. Right. These three schoolgirls behind them. We're going to see them again. I don't know if it's exactly the same actors, but the three... These are referenced again in The Grudge 2. So there we go. Because there is, like I said, there's lots of different stories in the Japanese versions. Lots of different stories that are all sort of like connected to the house and stuff like that. And they're I think they're in, I don't know if they're in The Curse or The Grudge, but these three schoolgirls. But that's all. The only time we see them in this film is there. But they come back in The Grudge 2, which we're not covering tonight. Anyway, there she's looking at a cemetery. There we go. She's telling him all about this Buddhist ritual and it's somebody that they loved, etc. So, right. Here we go, showing us where they are. Look, there we go. Development and management of healthcare network. So that's where she's gone in to pick up a book. She's not supposed to be working. She's got a test or something in the afternoon, and he's gone to do whatever he does. Crosswalk, we say. Cool. That's a week on zebra crossings. We've also got others that are called pelican crossings. I don't know if they still call them that. They used to be called that when they were a kid. It's supposed to stand for pedestrian light control crossing, pelican crossing. It's where you press a button and wait for the green man to come on. Anyway, right, here's Ted Raimi, looking very Ted Raimi-ish. And he calls on Karen and says, "Are you busy today?" She says, "Oh, no, I've got something in the afternoon or whatever." He says, "Well, here we go. You can go and check on this house because Yoko didn't call into work this morning." There you go, her first visit. So apparently she's a student, some sort of exchange student, maybe medical, I don't know, but she's doing this volunteering work at this care centre for the social credit or something like that. Social care credit. So that's what she's doing there. So he's telling her all about it, saying, just go in, tidy up if it needs doing, look after Emma. She's got dementia, so she doesn't do a lot. But there you go. She sleeps most of the day, so head out there. Oh no, he said Yoko had the key, so I don't know how he expects her to get in if Yoko had the key. And he says he's tried phoning her, but there's no answer. So he's guessing she's ill. So maybe she wasn't phoning him when she were on the phone, but I don't know. Or maybe he hadn't checked his messages. I don't know. But anyway, he thinks she's ill. But he's sending Karen off to fill in for Yoko, even though she hasn't got a key. Never mind. More Japan. I say I've never wanted to go. I'm sure it's a lovely place. There's some bits of it, Mount Fuji and all that, but there's something about Japanese cities. I think they look scary and too busy and crowded. I don't like busy and crowded. But anyway, here she is. She's on the subway now, Japanese subway, metro, tube, whatever you want to call it, or a train, or whatever. Seen Japanese life, and she doesn't know where she is. She ends up asking this lady and her daughter, who are a real mother and daughter apparently, which way to go, using some of her, rudimentary Japanese, better than mine. I don't know any. Konnichiwa, sayonara, RoboCop, etc. I think that's about it. Although I do know there's a Queen song called Let Us Cling Together, which has Japanese lyrics, and I know that because it's lyrics. So. But I won't sing. Anyway, I'm waffling. There you go, she's looking for this house, so she tells it's over there, but for some reason the little girl seems afraid of her. Maybe she knows she's the slayer. I don't know, but for foreshadowing, I don't know. Or maybe the little girl's just racist, seeing a white woman, or a Westerner, because you know what Japanese are like. It's an ethno-state, isn't it, essentially? Anyway, and I say that lovingly. Right, so off she goes. There she finds the house. Here it is, up this street. Up this, it must be autumn. Here it is. There she goes. Apparently, it's a big house for Japan. Is this apparently? But as I said, I don't know much about Japan. But apparently, this is a pretty big house, and a rich person would live here normally. But there you go. She sees Yoko's bike. I don't know if she knows it's Yoko's bike, but she sees a bike. And she rings the bell and knocks on the door. And there's no answer. She tries the door. Luckily, it's open. So in she goes. There you go. Is she going to take her shoes off? I don't know. She should do. You've got to take your shoes off, haven't you, to go in Japanese houses. So they always usually have loads of pairs of slippers and stuff, don't they, ready for guests. But no, she doesn't, does she? She just goes marching in her bloody shoes. I don't know. Anyway, there she sees somebody pawing at the frosted glass, or whatever you want to call it. That's Emma. There you go. So she sees to Emma. Steady on. There you go. She obviously quickly washed Emma's sheets, or just hung them out to dry. I don't know, but she's done that. And then she goes and introduces herself. So she deals with her and then introduces herself. There you go. There you go. She tells her who she is. And anyway, so she has a look round. She deals with Emma. She's giving Emma a sponge bath. Not a meatier sponge bath. Just a sponge bath. And then she puts her back into bed. And then she's going around tidying up. There we go. Got the back. And then I think she hears a noise. I think it might. I'm not sure. She's hearing footsteps or cats. I can't remember. But one or the other. There you go. She's looking round, wondering what's going on. And then she finds this cupboard that's all taped up. So did Emma do this? Did Emma tape up the cupboard, which is why she cut her thumb on the tape dispenser thing? Maybe so, because there seems to be blood on the tape that we see, or a bit, bit of it. So I think she did. I think Emma's taped up this wardrobe, whatever you want to call it. There you go. She's gonna leave. She's thinking, oh, sod that, and she's thinking, I'm out of here. But then she hears a noise. I think then she hears a cat meow. Speaking of cats meowing, Princess, what's she doing? What are you up to? What are you looking at? She's going to want to go out soon, I think. But she's looking at something. She's got her head right over the... can you see? I don't know if you can see her. Where's my torch? Hang on, just bear with me. What are you up to? Can you see her there? Hang on, where is she? Am I pointing? Don't know where I'm pointing. There she is, look. What are you doing? Are you fast asleep? Eh? Let me check on her, make sure she hasn't died. What are you up to, you? Yeah, sorry, did I make you jump? She's fast asleep, she's not dead, we're safe. Right, where were we? Oh, actually, we're going to get out of it, then she hears a cat meowing. From inside the cupboard, wardrobe, whatever. So she rips all the tape off and opens it up. And she sees a journal, a book that's a journal. This is the Diary of Kayako. What's her surname? I've forgotten. Saiki. Kayako Saiki. So she picks that up. But then a cat appears. She's a cat. Meow! And then we see it's being held by a little boy. There he is. There he is. We learn that's Toshio Saiki. And apparently the little actor that plays him hates cats. But he had to hold one. Terrified of cats, apparently. But there you go. Anyway, she's on the phone to Alex, Ted Raimi, telling him that that the rest of the family's not here. They've not come home yet. Because as we can see, it's getting on now. It's got the lights on, so she must have been there all day. And there's nobody about. She doesn't know where anybody is, and she's found this little boy. She doesn't know what to do, so he says he's on his way. Is Alex? So she's got to wait for him to arrive. So there she is waiting, and then she's looking through the book, and then we see it's all in Japanese writing. But we see the odd word Peter, and I think we might see Peter Kirk or something like that. But we learned that Kayako was in love with Peter Kirk. So right, there we go. We see a photo of Peter with Kayako in the background. But there she is with a pouty toddler face. And then she hears a noise. I think we hear footsteps again. And so she goes to investigate. And she's taking the shoes off now. Look, I've just noticed. Right. And she finds a family photo. There we go. Of Toshio. That's his dad. And obviously that's Kayako with a face missing. Then she hears a noise that makes a jump. And she looks round and he's up there. There he is. He's looking. And she asks who he is. What's your name? Whatever that is. She asks in Japanese. She says, I don't know. I can't speak Japanese. Says, she's Karen. And this way we learn is called Toshio. That's how he says it. So anyway, then the phone rings, and it goes to answering machine. Susan's phoning, asking, if anybody's there, and she's worried about Mum and all that. But as we can see, there's no handset on the base station, so she's going looking for the handset. She's been using it though, hasn't she? Because she phoned Alex, or did she use her own phone then? Maybe she's got a mobile, cell phone, whatever you want to call it. And I think somebody walks by that frosted window, I think, while we're not looking. Yes, there we go. Somebody walks by. Scary. So she goes in and has a look. She's got great peripheral vision in this film. She's always seen stuff that she's not looking at something. She's got her back to it, but we'll see it behind her. Then she'll go, what? She's got amazing peripheral vision. Unlike me. here we see Emma's sat bolt upright and she's fretting about something. And she actually speaks. There you go. That's her only line in the film. I just want her to leave me alone. But you've got to keep your eye on this area here. Because she settles Emma back down. But, oh, look, what's happening there in the corner? Ah! By the way, the original Japanese version didn't have effects like this. It was much more, simple stuff. Decent effects, for a low budget, but didn't have this sort of stuff going on. And Dretch Tiger's here saying, yo, because that's what he does. Right, so she settles Emma down. Obviously, she hasn't noticed what's going on behind her. Her peripheral vision wasn't doing her very much good there, was it? Anyway, Emma starts freaking out. Ah, no! And then she looks round, and then we see, oh no, she sees Kayako. There she is. Ah, scary. And I suppose this would be the origin of the Black Ghost. Because she appears like this sometimes with like a black face, but it's never explained why. Sometimes she appears with a pale face, but in the two films there's White Ghost and Black Ghost. In White Ghost it's an old woman who's the White Ghost, and in Black Ghost it's just somebody like that. And neither of them are Kayako in those films, but anyway. Right, but whatever. Right, so... then we have a flashback now. Here we go, we have a flashback. After that, we flash back to the Williams family moving into the Hell House. And there you go, there's a estate agent, realtor, whatever you want to call it, showing them round. There we go, we've got to take the shoes off, even in your own house, to show respect. And they're saying that it's a lovely house and they love it. This is Matthew, played by, I'll tell you in a minute because I'm useless, William Mapother. I have no idea how to pronounce that. But it's his work, his job has brought him to Japan, him and his family. It's Clea Duvall plays his wife. I forgot her name as well. Jennifer. And Katie Strickland, who we're going to see in a minute, is the sister, is Matthew's sister. There she is. Right, so looking round. I said, where's Mom gone? And says, I'll go find her. So Susan goes looking for her. Kind of reminds me of Emma Caulfield, who played Anya in Buffy. It just kind of reminds me of her. But anyway, she's looking for her. She finds her upstairs. Did she hear something in that room? I can't remember. But she finds her in this room, looking up at a corner of the room for some reason. It never tells us why, to be honest. She's just looking up there. Don't know why. But maybe it's in the corner of the attic where we find something later. I don't know. Anyway, while they're upstairs looking after Mom, the estate agent, I don't know if he's got a name, but here he is. He goes into the downstairs bathroom, whatever it is, and he sees it's like a big sink. It's not a bath, is it? It's like a big sink. But anyway, it's full of brown water. And I thought, I better get rid of that. Don't want them seeing this, do we? So he takes his shirt off and gets the fright of his life, as we see, because someone grabs his hand. There we go. And it's Toshio. I don't know. There we go. Toshio comes out of the water, then sinks back in. You hear him going, ah! Kind of spooky. Then he goes back down, and he sees he's got all black hair on his hand. There we go, like that. So he's kind of freaking out. But then Matthew comes in and says, we'll take it. See, they're calling him. Oh, it's there. It goes, Mr. Suzuki. Suzuki-san. There you go, we'll take it. And hopefully they'll get a plumber out and an exorcist. But that's where the spot sprites are. I have no idea what spot sprites are. But anyway, what's happened here now? I think we're going to... Oh, no, we're not. I thought we were going to jump back forward again, but we're not. Matthew's fast asleep, and Jennifer's awake because she can hear lots of noises coming from, presumably, downstairs. So she's got to go and deal with it. She thinks Emma's up and about at night, but I don't think it is. I think it's the ghost of Toshio wandering about and getting up to stuff. But anyway, next morning he comes down and says, "Oh, morning. Oh, Mum sleeps all the time." And Jennifer says, "No, she doesn't. She doesn't sleep at night." And he says, "Oh, I'm sorry." Anyway, so they haven't even unpacked or anything yet. But she tells me a little story about how she went for a walk the day before. She got hopelessly lost and she couldn't find anybody who spoke English and stuff like that. But she promises, she's not sure if it's going to work out, and she promises. Oh, hang on. Oh, soot sprites. Oh, right. Japanese mythical creature. Oh, right. I see. Never heard of them. Anyway, where were we? And she promises to give it a go, but he says, if it doesn't work out, I'll tell my boss, we're going back to America, but give it a good try. So she says, okay. So then we see she's out shopping. She's no idea what she's buying because everything's in Japanese, obviously. Surely there'll be somewhere. I mean, it's Tokyo, isn't it? It's a big city. There'll be English language stores. Well, you'd think so, wouldn't you? There must be. I mean, we've got, in my little town, we've got like Polish shops and there's one like Armenian or Azerbaijan. There's a shop somewhere from, some far-flung part of Western Asia. But anyway. Wingrave's been looking at from the Ghibli. You know what? I'm not a big fan of them. I'm not a big fan of the Studio Ghibli films. Or is it Ghibli? Whatever. Anyway, so she's looking for stuff for shopping, and she's no idea what she's buying. So she opens up that noodles, pot noodles, whatever, and she ends up popping one open to have a sniff, see what it is. Because you never know. Because it's Japan, it could be anything in there. Squid and octopus and all sorts of stuff. Because there's two Asias. I once saw a comedian do it, and he was an Asian comedian, so he were allowed to. There's two Asias. There's the cricket Asia, and there's the eat weird shit Asia. The cricket Asia is obviously India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, etc., Sri Lanka, and the rest is eat weird shit Asia, which they do, don't they? Anyway. There she is sniffing. So they're living on pot noodles, essentially, is what we call them, pot noodles. There she is. Oh, and there it is, look. God knows what flavour it is. But she hasn't eaten it, so it's obviously horrible. She's having a nap. And then we hear the noise of footsteps and the clattering of something. She wakes up, there we go. The pot noodles on the floor now. So obviously Toshio doesn't like them either. And there you go. She sees footprints. She wakes up. She thinks Emma's done it, and she looks at Emma's watching. Emma's looking at that direction. So she follows the little footprints. Hello, who's there? And they go upstairs, and then she sees. Does she see a cat? Is it this way she sees the cat? Just bear with me. Maybe not. That might be later. I can't remember. Anyway. She goes in this room, and then I think the door just shuts. I think the door slams or whatever. There you go. Door slams. Then, what's happening now? Is it Matthew coming home? Yes, Matthew's home from work now. Here he is. Look, the house is a mess. I'm guessing this is just before Yoko. So maybe Yoko arrives the next day, maybe. So we're seeing the house as Yoko finds it, aren't we? Everything's all, dishevelled. Here he's looking round, asking his mum if she's all right. So he's looking for Jennifer. Then he finds her on bed, and she's lying on bed, kind of catatonic, struggling to breathe, staring at the ceiling. He's like, "What's up? I'm going to get an ambulance." There we go. But then Toshio appears by the bed. Scary. and then he just screeches at him like a cat wail, like that, and makes him fall back like that. And then he hears a noise from the... Oh, I forgot then. Jennifer... Go back again. Jennifer sits bolt upright. In a minute. There you go. Takes a last breath and expires in front of him. This is in the original films, by the way. And then he looks up. There we go. Sees Toshio again. And then we cut to black. So, right. What's happening now? We've just seen the house. Right. Alex has arrived. Now we're back in the present day now, or whenever. Alex has arrived. He can't get in. She must have locked the door, I'm guessing. What's her face? I've got her name already. Karen. Anyway, so he gets in through this sliding door. And he says, Mrs. Williams, I'm sorry. Karen, are you here? And we see that Mrs. Williams has passed away. So he's shocked. Right, and he staggers backwards and bumps into Karen, who's staring with a pouty toddler face. She's staring at something. So then next we cut to the police have arrived. Here we go, and ambulances and stuff like that. With these cool... Used to see them in the 70s, like Starsky and Hutch. They had one of them, didn't they? They used to put on. Do they still have them in America? I don't know. We don't have them here. I don't think we do, anyway. So this is Detective... I'm going to have to look it up. I can't bloody remember. I'm useless. Nakagawa. Detective Nakagawa. I think. Yes, it is. So he's arrived. So... He's on the case. So they're taking away Emma, who's passed away. Alex is there talking. He asks how Karen is. They've sent her to hospital. They're going to keep her in overnight. She's had a shock. He's asking who these are. So Alex is telling him, well, that's Matthew and his wife Jennifer. They own the house. Emma is Matthew's mother. He knows them because of the care centre. But it was Matthew's employers that arranged all that, but obviously they called in at the care centre to sign documents or whatever, so that's how he knows them. Right. So he gives him his card to go make a statement, and he tells him about Karen being a substitute, also because Yoko's been missing since yesterday. Apparently, Matthew hasn't been into work, so I'm guessing a whole day's gone by now, hasn't it? So Matthew got home from work. We'll say Monday night or whatever, and then there's the day with Yoko and Karen at the house. So Matthew was supposed to be at work that day. The fact he hasn't been to work, he's missed a day. He's missed a lot more days as we'll learn. So anyway, he's looking around. He's listening to another one of the detectives is listening to the answering machine where Susan's phoned, and Detective Nakagawa tells the other fella to get somebody to go over to her house, because she says in this message that she's going home, to go over to her house, and make sure she's okay. And there we go, there's a photo of Susan. There you go. She works here in Tokyo. So look at it, all the family work in Tokyo. That's coincidence, isn't it? But I think she were there first, because she seems quite good at Japanese and stuff, as we see later, when we see her story. So I think she were there first. And luckily for Matthew, cause he's gone over because of his job. But luckily his sister were there already. Presses the detective presses the call button, on the base station, and we hear it ringing, and so they're going following the sound of the ringing. Here it goes, and they find it's in that cupboard. There he finds a hair, so that must be one of Yoko's hairs. So up they go into the attic, and they find, there they go, there they are. They're going to show them. Hang on. There we are. They find Matthew and Jennifer not looking well in the corner of the attic. But then they also find, because he says, "Who does that belong to?" And then it shows us, it's a jaw. Somebody's jaw. We learn that is Yoko's jaw. Right, Karen's in hospital, sleeping away. There's Doug. Oh, she wakes up, looks over. Doug's there, being all worried. So, and I said, Doug tells her that the police said an old woman passed away in her sleep, and she's like, "Oh, is that what they're telling?" But she's all scared about what happened in the house. Obviously. Anyway, the detective arrives. Could ask her more questions. And she tells him about Toshio and all that stuff. There we go. The boy had been taped into the closet. Dear. And she talks about the book and like a journal, a diary. And she says, "No, I think it belonged to a woman." Because he said, was it the boy? He said, "No, I think it belonged to a woman because the writing looked feminine." And anyway, so there we go. It shows her the picture and says, "Yes, that's Toshio." And we learn that Toshio and Kayako were murdered by, I forgot his name already, the husband, Takeo, 3 years earlier. We'll learn why later on. But in the original one, Toshio's just been missing, and it's 5 years. He's just been missing. But they don't know what happened to him. And but in this, it's 3 years, and he was murdered by his father. Anyway, I don't know if he tells her that now, but we'll learn it later. But then he tells her, once he's already in this shock state, he just says, "We found more bodies in the attic." But anyway, so off he goes. So he tells her that and then buggers off. So she's not shocked enough. Anyway, I think this chap's telling him they went over to Susan Williams's house, flat, apartment, and said the door were locked, the chain were on. I think they had break in, and there were nobody there. There were nobody, even though it was locked from the inside, there was nobody there. So it's unusual. Oh, pardon me. Right. Oh, she's looking at that photo again, wondering about Toshio. Right, here we are with Susan Strickland. Her name's Katie Strickland. Susan Williams. At work. God knows where she's working. Don't know. Some sort of office. And that's where she's leaving the message. So we're going back in time now. So, as I said, it's not a linear narrative. We're going backwards and forwards. It's worse than a blooming Quentin Tarantino film. Anyway, so she's left the message saying she's going home and she'll phone them tomorrow or whatever she said. But then she keeps hearing noises as she's coming down the corridor. She keeps hearing noises. That croaky noise, which I can't do. That sort of noise. That, by the way, in the film, for the soundtrack, that was done by the director, that noise. But anyway. So she goes down the stairwell. I don't know why she's not taking the elevator, but she's going in the stairwell. And her phone starts ringing, and she answers it, but it's just that noise. Hang on, I'll see if you can hear it. I'll unmute it. That noise. And it just gets louder and louder, and then it just hangs up. She thinks it's Matthew messing about, so she puts the phone away. She starts going down the stairs, and then she starts noticing that the lights up above start flickering, and then she hears a noise from below, and then as she's looking, hang on, I've gone too far. As she's looking, the lights start going out, there we go, up above, and then we see Kayako's coming up the stairs, so she's kind of trapped. So she's like, ah! So she goes back out the way she came, but something's grabbed hold of her lucky rabbit's foot, as we see. Kayako's got a hand on it, and it breaks off, and then we get another glimpse. Ah, are you scared? I am. So she goes into the security office, and there you go. She explains to the security guard, "Help, Sirene, help." She does actually speak in Japanese, but the security guard, says, "It's okay. You sit here. I go check and all that." Sorry, but he does. So he sits her down, and off he goes to check the what's going on. I say, she explains that it's a stairwell. In the original film, it was the women's bathroom she'd been in. I think she saw Kayako coming out of one of the stalls in the original, but in this it's the stairwell. So going to check. There he is, and he just checks, and he comes back out again, and goes wandering off. I think I've gone past it, haven't I? Probably. A minute. There we go. There we go. It's come out, and he's got carrying on, wandering about, doing his security guard stuff. In the original, he looks in the bathroom, and then a shadow comes out on the floor and goes up him and drags him in, and apparently he's found dead in there, that security guard. But in this one, he's fine, and he just carries on. But then, hang on. But then as she's looking, she sees something. There we go. The lights start flickering. She sees something starting to come out of the stairwell. There it is. Look, a shadowy figure. So she runs away, as you would. I'm guessing she took the elevator that time because she got there pretty quick. So she's in a taxi on the way home, and gets to her apartment building. I'm presuming she's on the 16th floor because her apartment is 1601. So I don't know if it works like that in Japan. I don't know, but her apartment's 1601. It doesn't look as though she goes up 16 floors when she's in the elevator, because there's a famous shot. There we go, in the this film where she sees Toshio's there. She doesn't see him. We see him, and then he's there again, and then hang on, I'm too far. There he is again, and then I think we see him one more time. There he is. Hang on, stop, and then she gets out, but she didn't know he was there. Then she gets to her apartment. Hang on, there it is. There we go, 1601. As I say, I don't know if it's the 16th floor or if they're just numbered, consecutively. I don't know, but anyway, she's in. She's home. She's safe. And she's having a look at the rabbit's foot that were broken. And then the phone rings, and she goes and answers it, and it's Matthew. Obviously, we know it's not Matthew, because Matthew has come a cropper, hasn't he? At this point, I never run. Hang on, I have a harpoon. And I'm a heavy set man, so running it in the cards. I'd be running like bloody hell, even though I'm a heavy set man as well. But I'd still be I'll be trying to run. Stampeding. That's what I'd be doing. Anyway. Matthew, there we go. And he says he's downstairs, so she's going to buzz him in. Remember, she's 1601, so I'm guessing they said that just to emphasise that she's on a high floor. In the original, she was on the 7th floor. But she buzzes him in, she presses the thing to buzz him in, and then almost instantaneously, a doorbell rings. So she's like, what the? Who's ringing the doorbell? She looks out, and it's Matthew. Hang on, there you go, she looks out. There he is. Matthew's there, and she said, "I don't know what you're up to." And I thought, how did he get up there? But maybe she's thinking he was on his mobile phone and phoned her from outside her door, just to, as a prank. But then she looks out. She looks out, and he's not there. And then the croaky noise starts coming from the phone again. I'm still muted. I'm muted. In a minute. And as it hits the floor, the batteries come out, and it's still doing it. So ghosts don't need electricity either. Right, mute it again. So she gets back in, jumps under the covers on the bed, as you would. Oh, wow, she finds the rabbit's foot. Hang on, I've gone too far. There you go, the rabbit's foot is back. And then something's in her bed. Oh, for Pete's sake. There we go. There's a bulge in the bed. She looks at, no, said Kayako's under the covers with her. And then she just disappears. Look, gone. She just vanished. They do this again, I think, might be in the third one. Is it the third one, or is it the... I think it's the third one, where people just disappear off a bed. Don't know. Do they go to another dimension? I've no idea. But anyway, right. Here's Doug at work. There you go. Smoking. Japan. Everybody smokes in Japan, it seems. There we go. Fungo dining. Apparently it's a real place. Fungo dining, apparently. I keep forgetting to check my notes, don't I, for interesting things. What's that doing? Bog off antivirus. Go away. Unbelievable. Right, anyway, where were we? Notes. There we go. The character of Toshio is almost always found with his cat. In real life, the boy who plays Toshio, Yuya Ozeki, was terrified of cats. So there we go. Kayako's signature croak, also referred to as a death rattle, comes from the fact... Oh, we'll see that later. I'll read that later. Oh, sorry, no, I'll read it now. Comes from the fact that her husband, Takeo, had snapped her neck but hadn't killed her. And she's trying to breathe through a broken windpipe. Her stumbles also come from the fact that her ankle broke as she was trying to run away from her husband. She's also covered in blood because he slashed her repeatedly with a box cutter. The scene that implies this was cut from the film to receive a PG-13, and it was restored in the unrated cut, which I think is what we're watching. I think we're watching the unrated cut now, so we'll probably get to that. I mentioned them schoolgirls, didn't I? 3 schoolgirls. Reference to Izumi and her friends, Chiharu and Miyuki, from the original Ju-on the Grudge. Their storyline would eventually be adapted for The Grudge 2. I think that's a time-travelling one as well. With actual time travelling in it, I think. There is a little bit of that in this. But I think it'll do it a bit more in the second one. Toshio's spirit is often heard meowing throughout the film. Not only does this imply that his spirit merged with his deceased cat Ma, but it also relates to an old Japanese legend where the damned spirits of lost children become strays and as a result produce a cat's meow. So there we go. Just thought I'd read a bit of me, a few of my notes. We've got more for later. Anyway, right, so he's reading a book on Japanese architecture. Maybe that's what he's a student of, architecture, I don't know. But then Karen arrives, there she is, and she's not booked, what do you call it? Signed herself out of hospital. She had to get out of there. So he gets the rest of the day off. He goes in and says, sorry, can I have the rest of the day off? So his boss says, yeah, fine. So he's... You can see that she's worried, and she's saying something weird happened in that house. There we go, she saw something, and then we're going to see Kayako reflected in the window in a minute. So as she looks out, it's not the best effect. There we go. She looks round and sees Kayako going at her, and then we get not the best reflection effect. It looks rubbish, because it looks awful, doesn't it? They obviously wanted it to show that it's her reflection now. But anyway, so I just want to go home, and I'm guessing she means she wants to go back home to America, but obviously she can't do that. She just goes to their home. Right, so, the shower scene. Here she is in the shower. I think Doug's gone out for something, but here she is. Oh, no, I missed it. But as she's showering away, by the way, another note, I don't know if it's in my notes, but as I said, this was filmed in Japan, and apparently Sarah Michelle Gellar found out she was allergic to Japanese water. So because she brought her out in, a rash or whatever, or hives or whatever, I don't know. But so when they found that out, to do this scene, she had to wear like a boob tube and everything. But so there you go. So Sarah Michelle Gellar's allergic to Japanese water. Anyway, see, I've missed it. There we go. She's washing her hair. Then there's a hand, a hand in her hair. That shower would just be full of wee if it were me. So she obviously freaks out a bit there. And anyway, then it cuts to Ted Raimi's at work at the care centre, and there we go. Goes round down the stairs, looks round. There's Toshio sitting there, but then he's not there anymore. See, peripheral vision again. But anyway, so we go downstairs, and then he sees Yoko coming in, walking slowly and weirdly. There we go, not looking well. A dripping blood everywhere. So he says, Yoko, you all right, flower pot? But she goes walking down there, and he follows her, and then slips on the blood, like that. And instead of just, looking down at it, saying, oh, that looks like blood, no, he goes and puts his hand in it. There you go. Like you do. Anyway, so there we go. Just show us it's blood, isn't it? But he says, Yoko, are you all right? And she turns round. This is where we see what's happened to Yoko. We know what's happened to her. We've already seen her jawbone in the attic. But there we go, he looks up. We see him, there we go, going, ah! Like that. And then we see a cool effect. It looks better than in, this is from, I can't remember, the first, maybe from The Curse. Either The Curse or The Curse 2. And it looked fine in that, It didn't look as good as this. It was very CG in the original one, but there we go. So she's not well. But then Alex dies. They find Yoko. They must find her body there and Alex's body, because we learn that they're both being found dead. So anyway, right. Oh, right. She's on. Oh, whatever. She's on a computer. She's at home. Who's this? Hiroko-san, 74th birthday. I'm presuming these are people from the care centre. What does that say? 2 p.m. from 22nd. Simpo Hall C. Health management. So that's a reminder for she's got stuff to do. Anyway, she's on Yahoo. Is that still a thing? I've never checked. So there you go. She's looking up. They've got the Daily News Japan, and she's looking up from 2001 Toshio. So this is where she finds about the murders at that house, which says where it is. Anyway, there you go. Toshio were found dead in their home. Blah blah blah. There we go. Suginami. That's where it was. I think. Oh no, don't say that there, does it? No, they've changed the names. Look, put there, Mr. Takeo Suginami drowned his child and stabbed his wife, but it's not called that. They're called Saiki, so they've got that wrong. I think it's where the house is in Suginami. Anyway, whatever. I went to scroll down then. Oh God. Oh dear. So there we go. So this is where she's learning about the murder. So as I said, in the original one, Toshio was just missing. Obviously, he did kill him, but I can't actually remember how. I don't know if we ever find out how he was killed and what happened to his body. I can't actually remember. And I watched them this week. I've been watching all the old, the original Japanese ones this week. I've just yesterday finished watching White Ghost and Black Ghost. But anyway, I still use my Yahoo email. Cool. But is Yahoo still there? I'm going to check and see. yeah, it is, isn't it? It is there, because sometimes they still do news things and that, don't they? Yes, it is there. Look, yeah. Yes, it is still a thing. Yes. Yes, it is, yes. Of course, because I've found news items on it for me news streams and that. Yes. Silly me. Anyway, it's stuff like Netscape that's not around anymore, isn't it? Or is it? I don't know. But anyway, remember that. And Lotus 1, 2, 3. Anyway, right. So there we go. We're seeing them. And then she also sees about. There we go down there. Peter Kirk, American professor, throws himself off a building. This is where we see that. There we go. He was 51. His wife Maria was 31. Do you reckon she was a student of his? Probably. Dirty bugger. Anyway, so we learned that he did that the day after. What happened to the day after the murders, and we see what happened to him later. We see all that. Right, back at Detective Nakagawa's office with a bonsai tree, because it's Japan. He's got the tape of the... because he asked his assistant to get the CCTV footage from the building where Susan Williams worked, and it's all around on one tape. Because they just needed it for that one shot that we need to see. There'd be a big box of them, wouldn't there? But from all the different cameras all around the building. But no, he's just got the one for that one thing that he needed to see. So he's going to play it, and here he goes. So he's watching the security guard do his stuff. There you go. He comes out, wanders off, and then we're going to watch the ghost, the spirit of Kayako come out in a minute. Here it comes, look, rising up from the ground. And so she walks towards the camera, and is he going to do it? Hang on. I missed it. Here we go. She rises. There we go. Oh, she disappears, and then there you go. She rises up into the camera, and then oh, for God's sake! There we go. And then she opens her eyes, and it goes like that to scare her. And then he looks over his shoulder, as you would. There you go. Gets the chills. They should have had it in the background or in a reflection or something, shouldn't they, somewhere? Maybe she is, I don't know. Oh, there's somebody walks past that window there in a minute. I'm sure there is. I'm sure when I watched it earlier on, somebody walked past there. Maybe that were a ghost. The only... Oh, no, there it is. But they should have had, something reflected there, or just standing in the corner, maybe there, instead of that hat stand or coat rack, whatever. Because there is in one of them, is it in 2 or 3, I can't remember, where there is a scene where you see her Kayako standing in a corner, or it's like half obscured, and nobody seems to notice, and then when it cuts back again, it's just like a coat there. But anyway. Windgrace says, I have a bonsai tree, but I let it grow. So it's just a tree now. I've never bothered. I'm rubbish with plants. Plants always die for me. I'm rubbish. Right. There she is at home, looking at Doug sleeping. And she leaves a note for him saying she's got to go out because she's got stuff to do. She says, I'll be back later. So, here she is. She's going to see Maria Kirk. Because we remember this from the beginning of the film. So, here she is. She wants to talk to her about her husband. And then we see Maria Kirk's looking as though she's been out on the town. I don't know. Has she become, a bit of a floozy in the 3 years since her husband nosedived out the window? I don't know. But I think she's all dolled up, look, with makeup on and everything. So maybe she's turned herself into a whore. I don't know. But anyway. Whoa, steady on. Anyway, so she's saying that, so whatever happened to Peter is to do something, is connected with what happened to her and what happened in this house, stuff like that, and Kayako and all that stuff. So she says she doesn't know, she doesn't know anything. There we go. She talked to all the detectives, etc. But she says, please help me. So she says, all right then, here's some photographs. By the way, she's a chain smoker as well. Oh, you can't see for me. Hang on. There you go. See, she's a chain smoker as well, it seems. Anyway, it's giving her all these photos. There we go. This is from our first date and all that stuff. But as you'll notice, as she goes through the photos, we see that Kayako's always in the background when she starts looking at them. There we go. There's Kayako there. And then she looks at another one, and she's there again in the background. So she's basically stalking him. She was madly in love with him. And there she is. And there she is again. Whoops, did it. And there she is again. Who's taking these photos, by the way? I don't know. They must have a cameraman walking around with them all the time, just snapping these affectionate photographs, but just randomly. But there she is. We're seeing her. She's stalking him. There she is again. So she's like, "Ooh, crikey, man, mate." And then she looks there, she's there again. And then I don't know if we get the suggestion. Hang on, let's go back again. That something's happened to Maria. I don't know. She's like says, Maria, whatever. But then I don't know what's happened to her. But I thought we were going to find out that she'd gone into the bathroom and slit her wrists or something. I don't know, but we never find out. Then we have another flashback back to Peter at work. Remember, he's a college professor or whatever, with his locker, with lots of photos of him and his hot young wife. But we'll learn he's been getting letters. There goes he with the mail. He's been getting letters from Kayako, and he's saying, another one. So I think she says she was a student of mine, but he doesn't know. So anyway, there you go. Don't know who the hell she is. So this we see that he's got a stack of these letters. Look, and they've got return addresses on, so he knows where to go. So he's decided to head there and see what's going on. So he rings the bell, but there's no answer, and he goes round the back, and there he sees Toshio there with his arms out the window. We see he's got bruises and stuff. This is just like this in the original film, by the way. In the original film, it was Toshio's teacher that Kayako were in love with, but in this one it's an exotic westerner she likes. She probably found it exciting. And the reason he goes, in the original, the reason he goes to the house is because Toshio hasn't been at school, so that's why he's gone. So he finds him, there goes your mother home. So anyway, he goes in, obviously the door must be open, so in he goes, collects Toshio. I think Toshio's, I think he's a ghost at this point, by the way. Asking him what's gone on. So there we go, he finds photographs all torn up, and there we go, with Kayako's face cut out. And then he goes looking out this window, and as he's looking, Toshio turns round and goes, does his... and obviously he doesn't hear that, because he doesn't react to it. Right, so... I think this is Karen now. She's going to see Detective Nakagawa. There she is asking directions. And he's on the roof for some reason. Maybe it's his lunch hour, I don't know. Maybe he's getting some fresh air. So... goes and talks to him about what happened in that house and the murders and stuff like that, and the detective says 3 years ago some detective friends of his investigated that case, and 2 of them died and 1 of them went missing. So it tells all about the curse. When people die, it leaves a stain on the house, and whoever visits that house, they'll die. And she says, well, I went to that house and you went to that house. And he's like, yeah, we're doomed. Which they are, to be completely honest. But anyway. So, we've got to get to the bottom of this because, it's Westerners and we've got to sort it out and save the day, etc. But, anyway. Oh, what happened there? Does he walk away? Yes, he does, yes. They'll just disappear. Right. So, he's back in his office now. What's he doing? He's looking at... he's looking at the files for the murders 3 years earlier. And there's his friends. Obviously, 2 are dead, 1's missing. Don't ask me which one. Maybe it comes back to them in The Grudge 2. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen The Grudge 2. Maybe I'll have to do an extra. So they're saying that, though. There's The Grudge 3 and all. I can't do them all, can I? Bloody hell. Anyway. Right, so he's going to the house. He's decided he's going to burn the bugger down. That's what he's going to do. So here he is with there you go, petrol cans or containers. It's not cans, are the plastic. He's going to burn it down, and then he hears a noise. So he goes to check it out. And he's going to see something. I think he sees Toshio being drowned. There he is. So he pulls him out, but then as he's checking him, then he opens his eyes, but behind him is his dad, and his dad drowns the detective. So presumably, I think the detective's dead now, because we don't see him again. There we see Takeo, whatever, drowning him. And that's it. We don't see him again. I don't think we do anyway. Meanwhile, Karen's come home and she sees that Doug's not there. And then the phone rings. Oh no, she checks the messages. Yes, checks the message. There's a message there, so she presses the button. And it's Doug. And instead of leaving a note for her, he's gone out. It's confused. It is. I'm watching thinking, why did you just leave a note for her? Why did he go and then leave a message? But anyway, as you can see, Karen, it's me. Where have you been all day? I'm really worried about you. The care centre called. Alex and Yoko are dead. I found your research, because you've been on the computer doing all that stuff. Just to clarify. Did you go to that house? And there you go. I'm coming to find you. And then he hangs up. So why didn't you just leave a note? Why did we have to hear that? She could have left a note and we could have read it, couldn't we? But no, we had to. So he's gone and then phoned and left a message. So she goes running out into the street. I don't know where she's running to. Where's she running out in the middle of the road? No idea. Couldn't she call it an Uber? What are Ubers in 2004? Anyway, so she's heading for the house. But Doug's already there. I think he might have already been there. I think by the time she gets the message, I think Doug's not doing too well. But anyway, because as I said, it jumps about in time a bit. Anyway, so here she goes running. She run all the way. Remember how long it took her to find the house at the beginning of the film? Now she's run there in like 5 minutes, it seems. Good job, she's the Slayer. And she's got superpowers. Right, so what's happening here? Is this where they're supposed to be phoning her and leaving the message? That's how I took it. But then the door opens. There you go, she's arrived. And there you go, but in she goes. Doug's not about. So I'm guessing that happened earlier. When you were on the phone, he were leaving the message there, saying he's coming to find her, even though he's already there. But anyway, here she is. There's the petrol containers still there. Gas container, whatever. So she's saying, Doug, where are you? All right, and as we can see, there's somebody there at the top of the stairs. We see somebody standing there. Look. Who could that be, I wonder? And we find out in a minute. When she gets there. Hang on. There you go, she's looking. There you go. The light changes then, and we're having a bit of time travel. Timey-wimey stuff now. So she looks, and we see that, there you go, it's Peter. So was it Peter standing there at the top of the stairs? I have no idea. It didn't show us. I don't think it was, 'cause I don't think he was wearing that, was he? I wonder who it was. Was it Doug? Was it Takeo? Was it Detective... I forgot his name again. Nakagawa. Don't know. There was just somebody standing there, spookily. Anyway, Eddie's phoning his wife, saying, I'll be home soon. But anyway, yes, there we go. So this is looking back in time to what happened to Peter. But there he is. He's with Toshio. We see Toshio down there. Toshio can see her because Toshio's looking at Karen. So then Peter starts looking at Karen. But obviously he can't see her. But she doesn't know that. But she's not saying anything. Anyway, so just looking around the house, and she follows him. And see all these photographs and stuff where her face has been cut out of all the photos. Did her husband do this, or did she do it herself? I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure. But this is from her journal. They've got, I'm in love with someone, but he doesn't know I exist. Poor Kayako. But then we see she's been collecting his stuff, it seems. Hang on, there you go. Peter. And we see, there we go. She's obviously got some of his hair that she's taped into this. And then we see, somehow she's got his fingernails. How? Dunno, but I'm guessing they're Peter's fingernails. So maybe she's going to clone him. Can you clone somebody from fingernails? I know you can't from hair, but you can from the follicle. She's going to clone Peter. Speaking of cloning, I saw that film Immaculate. Sorry for spoilers for Immaculate, by the way, cloning. I saw that film Immaculate with Sydney Sweeney. Really good. Really good. That's about cloning in a religious way. Think of Rightful Heir in Star Trek Next Generation. Windgrace knows what I'm on about. Anyway. Right, so there he goes looking at the photos and seeing that she's been stalking him. And then he looks round and she thinks he's looking at her, but he's not. He's looking through her. He's looking at the door there. He's going to open it. There's all the little Kayako faces pinned to the door with little blood smears. So, did she do that? Did her husband do that? You know, being insanely jealous. I don't know. But is this where the book opens up? Yes, the book opens up and flips to an eye. Looking, I don't know. But anyway, then I think he hears a noise in there. Looks in this dreaded wardrobe and looks up in the attic. And then Kayako's body falls out. There it is. And it hasn't... I might show it later, I don't know. But it hasn't shown him stabbing her, has it? Maybe it'll be later. So obviously that frightens him. They seem reflected in her eyes. So he goes running out the door, and then it goes back to normal. I think the light goes off. Yes. And she hears this noise, this thumping noise. I forgot about this thumping noise, which I think is from... I can't remember. That said, there's 4 Grudge films that's kind of squished into this. Well, 3 Grudge films. I can't remember which one it's from. So like one of the stories in the original ones had this couple in a flat, and they kept hearing this knocking noise at a certain time every night, and they couldn't understand what it was. And then, spoilers, by the end of it, it were them that hung. Well, they didn't hang each other. It were Kayako or whatever that hanged them, and it was them, and it was Toshio pushing their bodies, pardon me, against the wall, so they're hearing the future. And so that's what happens here. She looks in here, and she sees it's there we go. It's Kayako has hanged her husband. There's his tongue hanging out with Rapunzel-like hair. And as we see, it's there we go. It's Toshio pushing him. That's where we hear the thumping. And it's is this where we're going to see him stabbing her or not? There we go. See him find the diary, gets jealous. We see he grabs hold of her. He was chasing after her. God knows what that is. But he grabs hold of her. We've seen it in black and white because it's a memory or whatever. There we go. So, she crawls down the stairs. Because she might have this might be where she broke her ankle. So she goes crawling down the stairs. So we see this again later. And then he grabs hold of her and breaks her neck as Toshio watches. And this is where we hear that death rattle. See Toshio watching his mother being murdered to death. I don't think we see him using, stabbing her. But he says that's in the unrated version. This is supposed to be the unrated version. I think. I could be wrong. Maybe it's not. So then she sees that. So there we go. She's had a little flashback. 2 flashbacks. She's had one in colour, one in black and white. So she goes running down the stairs. And then, there we go. Doug. I missed a bit. She goes running down the stairs, goes past this mirror. Her peripheral vision again, working wonders. Hang on. Here we go. And she goes past this mirror, when she's ready. But it's Kayako's reflection in the mirror. They did a similar thing in Woman in Black, didn't they, a few years later. But then, she saw it out the corner of her eye. She goes to check. And that's when Doug appears. There he is. She gets another flashback, just randomly. Is this? There he's dragging Kayako away, drowning the cat. I think in the original script he was going to stab the cat, and they decided no, he'll drown. Or maybe they originally stabbed the cat. I can't remember. But anyway, drowns the cat, drowns Toshio. See, I don't think it showed him stabbing his missus, did it? Did it? Not that I can see. We can see her there. As though she's already been stabbed. Not that we want to see that, obviously. But anyway, then she starts coming down the stairs. We hear her. This is probably the most famous scene in the film where she's coming down the stairs, all with jerky movements and all that. And they say, the actress were really good at it, and she did it's all in camera jerky movements. But you can tell, so there's some little camera tricks in it, like undercranked or overcranked or whatever. But anyway, she comes down the stairs again, repeating, what she did in life. She was dying, but now she's the vengeful spirit. Here she is, coming down to wreak vengeance on the just anybody who's been in the house or is connected with her, step foot on. They've stained themselves, haven't they, by going into that house. And she basically goes and kills Doug. He just dies. Just pulls the life out of him, I suppose. And this is I've just watched Doug die. And then she turns her attention. There we go to Karen. And Karen backs up, and she's like Kayako's like Droopy, the dog, the cartoon dog, who can teleport himself. You're flowing him. She backs away, and but then suddenly she's up there in the up there. So anyway, then the house starts shaking and all that stuff, and then so she gets Doug's lighter. Remember, everybody smokes, so she gets Doug's lighter out, and she sees the petrol containers there. Doug's expired, and she's going to throw the lighter, but then Kayako tries to stop her. Doug changes into Kayako, but she throws the lighter, and the house starts burning. And we get one last look at Kayako, and then we fade to white, and then the emergency services are there, as if by magic, and another fade to white, and then we're in the hospital, whatever, and we're seeing this detective. I don't know if we've seen him before, maybe we have, I don't know. She's lurking about. I could be wrong, but I think this might be the Kayako actress. I could be wrong, I don't know, but I think it might be. See if it says on thingamabob. IMDb. Takako Fuji. See if it says further down. No, it doesn't say. It doesn't say. But I think it is. I could be wrong, but I think it is. Right. I think it is, but as I said, I could be wrong. So he's looking at a body. It turns out that's Doug's body, Doug's burned body, and he says, "Where's the girl?" And they say, "How did she survive?" I don't know, but they're bringing her down. There you go, male Caucasian, mid-20s. It's Doug. So somehow she's survived, looking a bit battered and bruised, but not burned somehow. But they're still, as I said, they're still investigating how she survived. So they're bringing her in. So they don't care in Japan, do they? You're in shock, and they'll either just show you another dead body, or they'll just tell you that people have died, when you're at your wit's end already, but never mind. Because they made a stern stuff in Japan. Keep it all bottled up, don't they? So they'll leave her in there, so she can have a look at Doug. And but she doesn't, we don't see his face. But there we go. She sees a hand comes out, and no, it's Kayako. But then she looks again, and it's not. It's Doug's burned arm. But then she turns round. Somebody's behind her. There we go. It's Kayako. What was that then? Did I just see something then? Yes, I did. Something. You can't see because it's behind my head. Hang on. Can I move myself? Bear with me. No, I will show it again. I don't know what it is. Something goes by the camera. Down in this corner here, something black just goes past the camera. Is it a mistake? I don't know. I'll get rid of myself and I'll play. Oop. there? Did you see it? Something just went by. Anyway, whatever. But anyway, whatever. It's Kayako's there behind her, facing away, and then suddenly facing towards her because she looks round and oh no, doing the old. Hang on. Oh, hang on, I went too far. Hang on, come back again. And that's the end. That's the end of The Grudge. Sarah Michelle Gellar returns in Grudge 2, but I don't think she's in it very long. I'll not tell you what happens to her. But there we go. That's the end. That's the end. A good film. A good, J-horror remake. Like I said, the originals are really good as well. But, this is as you'd expect it to be. It is a good... because it's done by the original writer-director, working off a script by, an American, but is giving it an appropriate spin. And it's I think it's a good film and a good story. And it does carry on. I like Grudge 2 as well, even though I've forgotten what happens in it. I know what happens to Sarah Michelle Gellar, but I forgot what... We learn about them schoolgirls, don't we? And they're connected with the house. I can't remember how. But then you get The Grudge 3, which is in America. I think somebody's been to the house and come back. I can't remember now. Is it to do with Karen's family? I've forgotten. But anyway. Where was Buck and Burnham? I don't know. I'm trying to think. I know you're on about, but what's that going? I've said something, haven't I? And I can't remember what I've said. Anyway, where were Buck and... Yeah, I know what you meant. But anyway, The Grudge. It's a cool film. Give it a whirl. But not if you can't watch it on streaming if you're in the UK. So you'll have to find it on DVD. The Blu-rays cost an arm and a leg, so we're going to buy them. And I thought, sod that, I'm not paying 40 quid. Jesus Christ. Don't like it that much. The cat was named Grudge. Oh, was it? I can't remember. The cat that was supposed to be a queen. That. Aye, well, wasn't it? Yeah. That they kept out suggesting there were more to the cat than there was, but it never turned out there was never anything to it, wasn't there? It was just a cat. But anyway. So there we go. That's The Grudge. So I say, give it a whirl, but not on streaming if you're in the UK. Or The Grudge 2, that's not available streaming in the UK, but The Grudge 3 is, and the one that came out in 2020, that one is as well. I can't remember what's that. I think that were okay. But anyway. Anywho, right, so that's it. We're all done and dusted. I might do The Grudge 2. I might do like a special one, a special pre-recorded. Because it does kind of carry on, doesn't it? Because Sarah Michelle Gellar's in it. We learn what happens to her. They said Grudge will be explained in Academy, did they? Oh, for God's sake, I don't really care. Don't really care. Anyway, so there we go. We're all done and dusted. Right, so what's coming up next? As I said, give The Grudge a whirl, but not on streaming in the UK. But it's on streaming in America on Amazon Prime and other places. Shudder, I think, as well. Right, what's coming up next? I can't remember. What day was that? Monday. Yes, Monday. We're doing, for Magnificent Mondays, we're doing The Objective, a cool film. I like The Objective. A bit weird, but pretty cool as it is. About like a military squad with a CIA chap. They're going to Afghanistan looking for this important cleric. But there's also something to do with supernatural things and aliens and stuff like that going on. Cool film. And next Friday's Appointment with Fear is The Orphanage. There it is. Another foreign language film. This one's in Spanish. This is a Spanish film, but it's a cool film. Produced by Guillermo del Toro, who we mentioned earlier, didn't we? Win Grace. There's another couple that I'll be doing later. Right, so we'll leave it there. So thanks, Win Grace, and Dretch Tiger, and Josh Temple. Did anybody else pop in while I missed anybody? No, I didn't. I'll have to check on Rumble, make sure there's no chats on Rumble. No, there ain't. Right, so we'll leave it there. So, thanks for watching. Don't have nightmares. And until next time, I'll say there.